What is up, bros? I'm Caleb.
And I'm Jonathan.
And we are a couple of bros on a mission to give you guys the most detailed movie reviews out there with as little bias as possible. Welcome to the All Bros. This week on the podcast, we are going to be talking about some of the things that Rose watched this week. I have been way too busy to watch anything other than like Gravity Falls before I go to sleep. And then we'll be getting into our breakdown of the newest installment of the Mad Max Saga, Furiosa.
And unfortunately, probably the last one for how...
What?
Oh, dude, did you not see how big of a box office bomb this movie was?
That sucks.
It literally, I think it lost Warner Brothers like $160 million.
Damn!
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
Yeah, dude, bad.
Yeah, probably not going to be another.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
It is very unfortunate.
Yeah. Damn, that sucks.
Right?
But yeah, we'll get into that later this episode. But with that, let's say we get right on into this.
Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
Hello, my name is Brucker Nurse, and I want to tell you about my fun horror movie podcast called Autopsy of a Horror Movie. On my show, I like to have fun dissecting out what makes a horror movie scary, what worked for it, what didn't, what types of fears does it play off of. Is it an allegory for any sort of message? I don't know, but let's find out. Also, I like to watch slashers. I'm a big slasher guy, so I'll watch a slasher and do a kill grade for it. I will cover the kills and I will tell you how I would grade it based on shock, method, style points, and a fourth category that is a reflection of the movie. Besides those, I'll have fun with special topic episodes, commentary tracks, interviews with guests, including some Shudder directors, so I just like to have a fun time over here. If any of this sounds interesting to you or you just want to come check me out, please head over to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere they listen to podcasts and search for Autopsy of a Horror Movie. Also be sure to find me on Instagram at Brucker Horror, where you get fun updates and some cool little posts that I do. Thanks for listening, and I hope that you get to enjoy the show, and I'll see you on Instagram. Bye.
All right, kicking things off, we are going to be discussing the things that Rose watched this week, because like I said, I've been a little bit of a lazy shit.
I wouldn't say you've been a lazy shit, like you said.
In terms of watching movies, yes, I have. But no, my family took a trip to Utah, and I am currently tearing apart our house to work on some shit, and it is extensive.
What fun.
I know. I feel like I've done it to myself, though. Like, my wife would absolutely agree that that's what I've done. But no, we bought new carpet for the house, so I had to tear up all the old carpet, and that's what I'm wearing right now. Like, I seriously got out of my van, like, from doing a Lowe's run, and came right back into the shop to record. But yeah, I currently smell like old carpet, and I am not loving it.
It's the new fall scent. Come on.
Oh
man.
my gosh, dude! So I wasn't able to. I was waiting on taking a load to the dump, and I loaded up the van, but I didn't like run anything, and it started raining.
Oh shit.
So I was like, oh, damn it. And I was like, shit. So I finished loading up everything in the van, like after it stopped raining, and took a couple loads, but I had to freaking unload the damn carpet that was all soaking wet. And so this is what happened. Like, I parked as close to the freaking dumpster as I could, and I put it on the roof of the van. So I grabbed it and I went to like throw it over my head just to see if I could like just swing it in one fell swoop. Spoiler alert, I can't. And so it came down like halfway, and so it was just far enough, and it the back end got off the van, and so I just got slapped in the back with just wet carpet, and I was like, ew. This is freaking disgusting. It was gross. And like I said, now I smell like wet carpet, and it's not great.
Dude, if I were you, I would take the longest shower of your life after we record.
Yeah. But I felt like super self-conscious while I was at Lowe's, because like someone like walked past and kind of did a double take, and I'm like, oh my God, they can smell me. But yeah. So I ripped up all the old carpet, and then there're like these weird strips in between the panels of my house, and I'm like, I don't like those, so I'm getting rid of those. And so I pulled all the seam strips out, and then I realized while I pulled some of that out that some of the drywall wasn't super good. So I was like, okay, let's see how bad this is. And I accidentally like pushed my hand through one of the drywall panels. I'm like, shit. So I pulled that out, and I have so I have 3 freaking like different drywall patches that I need to make. And then when I was doing I was in Iris's room, and I was trying to feel around and see if there was any like soft spots or whatever. And I went through the window seal, like the part that's close to the window, and I touched, and it went like my hand went through, and I'm like, shit. So I pulled all that up, and I was just like, God damn it. And
I'm sorry.
No, and then the freaking like the board underneath it, like the freaking plywood board underneath it, was all freaking rotted and shit. And I'm like, are you shitting me? So I started peeling all that shit back, and it was significant. And I'm like, shit, I can't get away with just like patching over that. Like I needed to tear that shit out. So I tore it all out. So the reading nook is all kind of like tore up now. But the shit that bit me in the ass is like while I was ripping this board off, like I'm like, damn, this thing's like really freaking on there. And I freaking ripped it, and I didn't realize that plywood was attached to the freaking metal siding underneath the ledge of the house. And I'm like, shit. So I have royally screwed myself today.
This is sounding like the unofficial remake of Are We Done Yet?
Yeah, and then just for shits and giggles today, because I told Brielle I was going to, I ripped out the bathtub in the guest bathroom and pulled that out, and that thing was being a bitch to me like all day. So yeah, I had to freaking smack it around a little bit, and it finally got loose. But I seriously, I unscrewed everything. It was like completely off the wall, and I was shaking it, but it wasn't moving. I was like, what the hell? And so I freaking just jumped in the tub and like donkey kicked it, and it freaking got loose, and I was able to pull it out like no problem. And I'm like, hell yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then I realized how bad the walls are. I was like, shit. So I told Brielle, I was just like, yeah, these walls are gonna take some work.
Oh man.
Luckily, that won't be too bad. Replacing the walls won't be bad. It's just going to be the tub. Like once, like we need to figure out like a good solution for the tub.
Yeah.
And yeah, so hopefully I don't completely jack that shit up.
I believe in you, man. You got this.
No promises. Yeah, what sucks too is she has someone coming over to our house in October. So,
oh God.
Yeah, I was like, I was like, well, we better get that tub fixed.
Like, you sure you don't want to postpone your visit till the new year?
That's a conversation for a later date. But but yeah, that's the fun week I've been having. Just tearing apart the house and realizing, oh shit, there's a lot of stuff I need to take care of. Which was expected, because I told her, I'm like, I have to take care of all this shit now, because she was just like, just do the carpet. And I was like, yeah, that's all fine and dandy, but then I'm doing stuff that like puts the carpet at risk. Like all of these little projects put the carpet at risk.
Yeah.
Like the brand new freaking carpet versus like I could just take it all off now, patch it all up now, and then like while it's just the subfloor, and I can mess up the subfloor all day. Like who gives a shit about that? Oh, and there's another thing. I have a hole in the subfloor that I need to fix too.
Oh my good lord.
Yeah. Brielle and I were wondering what was holding us up, because it was a big freaking hole. And I was like, it's probably just the carpet holding this up. And I was 100% correct.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, like I said, I've been having fun. And then, like at night, I've been watching Gravity Falls. I watched it before, but I heard rumors of a season 3 coming out, and I wanted to just kind of do a quick rewatch of it. And it's such a great show. Such a great show. But anyway, getting into what we the segment we said we were going to, not freaking issues with Caleb. Rose, would you like to tell everyone what you have watched this week?
I would love to. So besides watching the 2 movies in preparation for what we're reviewing, so Mad Max Fury Road and of course Furiosa, I also revisited the 2 versions of Justice League, the god awful one and the great one. They're like the one that should have only been the actual one. So first up, Whedon's cut, or the what do people call it? Justice League.
Justice League.
And I feel with this one, like I think I maybe felt this way a little bit with like my first couple times watching this, but on this latest rewatch, I really felt it. And he tries way too hard to make the Justice League the Avengers, and for where they had set these characters up, for how dark the tone was, which that was perfectly fine. I loved the dark tone that the DC universe had at this point in time. It just, I feel it blew up right in his face. He tried to replicate the success he had with the first Avengers into Justice League, and it just fell flat on its face.
It's because it was the mixture of tones. Because it's so blatantly obvious what was Joss Whedon's and what was Zack Snyder's.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, there is one scene that I forgot that they took it out of Zack Snyder's cut, and I'm so glad that they did. It's when it's like the first team like building, or not first team building. They're like first fight together when they're trying to save all these civilians from shit. I already forgot the bad guy. Oh my god, what is the bad guy's name? Shit.
Dude, the movie is that forgettable.
No, it's not Darkseid. No, Darkseid. That's
no.
Un momento, everybody. I'm sorry.
That just goes to show how forgettable this bad guy was.
No, like for real. Like he's a lot better in Zack Snyder's, but he's still not a great villain. Steppenwolf, that's his name. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he was not a good villain.
No, he was not. But so when they're trying to save the civilians from Steppenwolf and his freaking fly creatures, whatever the hell they're called.
Oh, the parademons.
Thank you. There's a scene like so it's Barry and Bruce having like a talk, and Barry's just like, you know, I've never, he's like, it's so great that you guys want to do battle, but I've never done battle. I've just pushed some people and run away. And I've always thought that is a stupid line. And so I'm so glad that it was cut in Zack Snyder's version, where I think Batman I think he just straight up says, just get everybody out. That's all that I want you to do. that's perfect. Like, he can see that the Flash is like kind of struggling here a little bit. This is his first time being out in the field like this. And so he's just telling him, this is your only task. That's all I want you to worry about. Whereas in freaking Joss Whedon's, you get that stupid ass line, I've never actually done battle. I've just pushed people and then ran away. It's
yeah.
Just the dialogue in this version versus what we get in Zack Snyder's version. It's night and day for some of these instances.
I will say the only reason, like the only legitimate reason for watching this movie is just to do the comparison between Snyder and Whedon.
Exactly.
Like, because these two movies are like, it's unprecedented what they did.
Yeah. No, like seriously, like comparing the especially like comparing the openings to these movies, like, Joss Whedon's opens with that stupid ass kid. Okay, not the kid's not stupid, but the kid filming on his phone, asking Superman like, oh, what does the S mean? Like, oh, what do you stand for? While you see the horrible CGI on Henry Cavill's face, compared to Zack Snyder's opening, where it's a badass slow-mo scene of when Superman is dying and everyone's reacting to it. Yep. It is so bitching. Just God. Dude, this movie pisses me off after we got Zack Snyder's.
Yeah. The only thing about Zack Snyder's is that it's 4 hours long.
Yeah, that's the only problem.
And what's crazy is he has a 6-hour cut.
Good Lord. Well, where's that? Now I kind of want to see it.
Dude, it is insane how much movie I feel we miss out on.
Yeah, like the biggest sorry, go.
No, I was just saying, like they film like multiple hours worth of movie, but then they cut it down to like an hour or two.
Yeah,
like,
no,
it's freaking
right.
It's nuts how much movie we miss out on. Like how much shit is just sitting on someone's like hard drive right now. Well, just like unfinished content. Like that is shit that I would die to get my hands on.
Fair. I feel like also a big problem with this one is, you'd seen only Batman and Wonder Woman. I guess so. Batman only once before this movie, Wonder Woman twice, and then Superman twice. But we had only seen glimpses of Aquaman, the Flash, and Cyborg. Whereas, if talking about the Avengers, since I feel this is supposed to be it's Joss Whedon's version of his Avengers, and it just failed. The core four we had already gotten they had already gotten their own movies. Black Widow was a big part of Iron Man 2, and even though he was, only in it for a couple of minutes, we still got a good idea of who Clint Barton was and Thor. So we knew who these six were. They were decently established, maybe not so much the latter two, but still we understood who the Avengers were going to become. This, especially Cyborg, oh my God, like Cyborg story just it honestly just it feels so shoehorned in there. And like I know that they were trying to set up Cyborg as much as they could, and also like the Flash and Aquaman, but just too much to do with three characters in a movie that is, I think, like barely over 2 hours.
Yeah. It was too much. It was too much. Like doing a new introduction to like one character, okay. 2, you're pushing it, but 3, like 3, it's too much. It is too freaking much. And especially when the concept for them was so it was just at its baby stages.
Yeah.
It was like there was no concept for them. Like freaking Barry had long hair and like facial hair. And Aquaman looked very different, it felt like he didn't have a suit or anything.
No, all he was swimming around in was like cargo pants and a tank top.
Yeah, and then freaking Cyborg, like we got nothing of Cyborg other than like a quick glimpse.
Yeah, all you saw was like his like just body mounted on the wall and his dad like testing him with the mother box.
Yeah, even as for Zack Snyder to try and pull that off, like it was a long shot either way, like either route that you went, but Snyder went about it better, and obviously he had more time to do it.
Yeah,
but he went about it in a better manner than Whedon did.
Yeah.
Like Snyder's is like the definitive cut of Justice League.
Oh yeah.
And anytime I want to watch Justice League, I'm going to watch Snyder cut.
Oh yeah, same here. I unfortunately decided to sit through both of them. Unfortunately for this one, fortunately for Snyder's.
Yeah. Well, it like I said, like it's a legitimate reason because you're doing a direct comparison between the two. And it's interesting because it's like they're two very different movies. They just share a couple scenes.
Yeah, no, like seriously. I had no idea about this, but Barry's dad was recast in the Flash movie. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I felt like he looked different.
I feel the guy that was recast was a way better actor. I liked him a lot better than the guy that plays him in the Justice League versions. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, this is it. Like literally, if you just want to see the bad version of Justice League, watch this movie, and just like have a good laugh at how freaking stupid it is, and how badly, not only how badly toned it is, but how like for a movie that's like barely over 2 hours, it feels like almost 4 hours. It like literally feels like almost 4 hours for compared to the definitive version of Justice League.
It's like, when is this shit gonna be done?
No, like seriously. So Justice League or Justice League, yeah, nothing better to do, and the only reason it gets a nothing better to do and don't bother is because it's kind of fun to watch the piece of shit before or watch the piece of shit original before so you can compare it to the GOAT version that follows.
Yep.
So that's that. And then kind of already talked about it. Watch Zack Snyder's Justice League. Great as the first time that I saw it. I'm just gonna say it, like just jump right to it. $5 Tuesday. I would love to be able to experience this movie in theaters. It's unfortunate that they just dropped it on Max. I am though glad that they released it physically. So it's nice to be able to actually have this movie in my collection. Everything is just so much better in this version. The moment that always sticks out to me, because freaking I get goosebumps at the end when Barry breaks the Speed Force. That scene is just jaw-dropping amazing. That scene alone just proves how well Zack Snyder understands the Flash.
Yeah. Dude, while this movie may be like ridiculously long, what I do appreciate about it is that it's split into chapters.
Yes, I love that.
So you could get away with doing like, oh, watch 2 chapters here. Like, cause what is it, 6 total or is it 4?
I think it's 6.
Okay, so yeah, you could do 2 at a time and split this movie up to a manageable level.
Yeah.
It's just you're gonna have Justice League for the next few days.
Yeah, I split this movie up between 2 days. So
yeah, as you should. It's 2 freaking hours. Like it's easy to split it up. Like 2 hours is manageable. If you can't do 2, you could split it to like an hour, 25 or however long.
Yeah.
The 4 hours divided into 4.
Yeah, that would be hour 25 for 4 days.
Yeah. But yeah, so like split it up. Like you could easily do that. Like it's easy to do, and this is a tough one to sit through in one sitting. Very easy to do over a span of time, which I totally plan on doing because this, like you said, we're going to be regrading these.
Yeah. Like honestly, if they would have just given me a bathroom break at the 2-hour mark, I would have been perfectly fine seeing this in theaters.
Yeah, I think it would have been cool to see it in the aspect ratio that he originally had it in as well.
Yeah, that's what that is. Add that to like the thing that I love about this movie, that like it's in a different aspect ratio than what we're used to. But I love that about it.
Yeah.
Sorry, thought you were gonna say something. But yeah, no. So when it comes to Justice Leagues, the original Whedon cut sucks. Don't bother unless you want to compare it to the great version, which is Zack Snyder's Justice League. And I'm very glad that the Snyder cut move actually got so much momentum, and like freaking Warner Brothers actually delivered when it costed them an extra 70 million to do like the reshoots, add new effects. Like, I'm honestly amazed that Warner Brothers actually did it, but I thank them for it because Zack Snyder deserved this.
He absolutely did. And just like some of the imagery in this that he pulled off was freaking incredible. Like, I love the backstory of like the original fight with Darkseid. That was nuts.
So cool.
So cool. Like, it is such a good, well put together movie. Definitely not supposed to be sitting where it currently is on our ranking list.
One last thing that I need to point out. Thank goodness not Joss Whedon. No, not Joss Whedon. Zack Snyder chose to redesign Steppenwolf for his cut, because he looks so freaking stupid in the original, and he looked so badass in Snyder's cut.
Yeah, such wildly different. Like, I love this movie solely for the reason that I get to see two different directors' takes on the same film.
Yeah,
I would love to see more of that, honestly.
Yeah, I would too.
That would be a really cool thing where it's just like, hey, we're filming like 8 hours worth of content and we're getting X amount of directors to do their own cuts. Like, I would watch the shit out of something like that.
Like, I know he, after Afterlife, he stepped away, but I would love to see not only Jason Reitman's version of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, but I'd also love to see Gil Keenan's version of Afterlife.
That'd be good.
Yeah, I'd be very intrigued.
Yeah.
But anyway, that is all I've got for Weekly Watch.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, with that, let's say we get into this week's breakdown.
Let's do it.
Hell yeah. Alrighty, like we said, we will be breaking down Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga this week. And I have some thoughts on it, honestly.
Good or bad? I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. Like, these are, I don't know which way I am leaning. This is one that I kind of need to talk out.
You know what? I'm kind of the same way. Because so I rewatched Mad Max Fury Road right before I watched this. I watched these both in the same day. And I because I hadn't watched Mad Max Fury Road in years, probably actually since it came out. And honestly, I forgot how much I enjoy that movie. That great. Like, I loved rewatching that. This one, yeah, it's like you're right. You kind of have to talk it out, because there's some things I love, and then there's some things that, like, I'm just like, okay, that kind of dragged a little bit.
Yeah. that was a big issue.
Yeah.
And so let's get into this, dude. I'm
Yeah.
pumped. I'm so pumped. All right. If you are new to our breakdown system, we have split movies into 8 different categories that we individually score to come to a final All Bros letter grade. The 8 categories that we score are story, writing, acting, character development, effects, music, costumes, and then we give it our own personal score at the very end. All those numbers get magically added up and spit through our algorithm and give us a letter grade to compare this movie to others of a similar grade. So with that, if you have not seen Furiosa, spoiler warnings ahead. Like big spoilers ahead, I feel.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Rose is about to spoil the entire movie for you in our favorite segment that we like to call Reading with Rose. So
All
without
right.
further ado, Rose, you want to take it away?
I would love to, if my mouse wants to work. God damn it. Once again, starting off strong. Okay. Decades after the apocalypse, Australia is a radioactive wasteland, and the green place of many mothers is one of the last remaining areas with fresh water and agriculture. Raiders uncover the green place while 2 children, Furiosa and Valkyrie, are picking peaches. Furiosa tries to sabotage their motorcycles, but the raiders capture her as a prize for their leader, Dementis of the Bike Horde. Mary, Furiosa's mother, pursues them to the Horde's camp, killing all but one of the raiders, who brings Furiosa to Dementis. Furiosa mortally wounds the last raider before he can disclose the green place's location. Excuse me. Mary sneaks into the camp and rescues Furiosa, but Dementis tracks them down. Oh my god. Excuse me. Jeez. Mary stays behind to buy Furiosa time to escape and gives her a peach pit to remember her by, but Furiosa refuses to leave Mary behind. Dementis forces Furiosa to watch her mother's crucifixion. Jesus. Jeez.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, that was like damn.
Yeah, Dementis was freaking demented.
This is a long stretch for Chris Hemsworth from Thor.
Dude, right?
But
I can't wait to talk about acting.
Oh, yeah. So, haunted by his own family's death, Dementis adopts an unwilling Furiosa as his daughter, hoping she will lead him to the green place. Sometime later, Dementis besieges the Citadel, another settlement with fresh water and agriculture. However, the Horde is repelled by the War Boys, the fanatical army of Citadel warlord Immortan Joe. Dementis changes course using a Trojan horse strategy to capture Gastown, an oil refinery that supplies the Citadel with gasoline. At peace negotiations, Joe recognizes Dementis' authority over Gastown and increases its supplies of food and water in exchange for the Horde's physician and Furiosa, who has tattooed a star chart to the green place on her left arm to find her way home. Afterward, Joe imprisons Furiosa with his stable of wives inside a vault. After Joe's son Rictus shows an attraction towards her, Furiosa devises a plan to escape. One night, Rictus breaks Furiosa out of Joe's vault to rape her. Sorry, I probably shouldn't have said that out loud. I'm sorry. But apologies, because we all hate that word. But she slips from his grasp using a wig made from her own hair and disappears. Son of a bitch. Disguised as a mute war boy, Furiosa works her way up the ranks of Joe's men for over a decade. She helps build the War Rig, a heavily armed supply tanker that can withstand raider attacks in the lawless wasteland. She plans to escape by hiding on the rig when Joe sends his top driver, Praetorian Jack, on a supply run. Delusioned by Dementis' callousness, his lieutenant, the Octoboss, goes rogue and launches an air assault on the rig. His mortarfires slaughter the rig's entire crew and destroy Furiosa's hidden motorcycle, but Furiosa and Jack team up to defeat them. Furiosa tries to carjack the rig and drive home, but Jack easily thwarts her. However, he recognizes her potential and offers to train her to escape as she helps him rebuild his crew. Furiosa becomes Jack's second in command and is promoted to Praetorian. She and Jack develop a bond and resolve to escape together. They see an opportunity when Joe decides to attack Gastown, which Dementis has mismanaged to near ruin. Joe orders Furiosa and Jack to collect weapons and ammunition from the Bullet Farm, an allied mining facility. However, Dementis, having already taken possession of the farm, ambushes them when they arrive. Furiosa and Jack barely escape, and Furiosa's left arm is injured. Dementis chases them down and has Jack dragged to death while Furiosa helplessly witnesses. Furiosa escapes her chains by severing her own injured arm, sacrificing her star map to escape. A lone man watches from afar as Furiosa struggles back to the Citadel, where she and Joe's aide, the People Eater, form a strategy to avoid a trap planned by Dementis. Instead, Dementis is lured into a trap at the Citadel, and the War Boys crush the Horde in a 40-day war. Having lost her path home, Furiosa shaves her head once more, builds a mechanical prosthetic in place of her severed arm, and pursues the fleeing Dementis. After an extended chase, Furiosa subdues Dementis in the desert. It is heavily implied that she imprisoned Dementis in the Citadel and uses his still-living body as fertilizer to grow a peach tree from her mother's pit. Yeah, that was some messed up scenery right there.
Dude, that was freaking sick, though.
Oh, 100%. Joe promotes Furiosa to oh my, I was doing so well. Imperator, and gives her what? Did I get it right?
I don't know. Maybe.
Imperator, I'm just gonna say that's right, and gives her command of a new war rig. She meets Joe's 5 breeder wives in the vault where Joe once held her prisoner and shows them a peach from the tree. The night before another supply run, the 5 wives hide in Furiosa's rig. Okay, so I'm just going to, this is probably going to be a stupid question, Caleb, but I'm going to assume that considering that the ending cuts from, and it's honestly like a really cool like take how it like switches from Anna Taylor-Joy's Furiosa to Charlize Theron's Furiosa, which that's really cool that they got her to surprise at the end. I'm assuming that just leads like right into Fury Road as their lead.
I would assume yes.
Okay.
I also don't think that was new footage of.
Oh, wasn't?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure that was like unused or like reused.
Curious now.
Because I think if she would have come back for it, I think they would have made a bigger deal about it.
I don't know, man. Sometimes they're like they don't like want to like make a big deal out of it because it will take away from like I'm sure that if
the only reason I think that it was reused is because it was what?
You're right. Because like a Screen Rant thing says Charlize Theron's cameo in Furiosa explained and how it rescues a deleted Fury Road scene. Look at that.
Yeah. I had a feeling that was
damn
be the
okay
case. Because what they had was like it was the same girls, like the same wives.
Yeah, that's true.
And everything. So that's why I was thinking like, ooh, maybe this isn't the.
I didn't think about it. In that case, though, it was still like a flawless transition. That was cool as hell.
Super cool, like super freaking cool. Oh, but yeah, dude, getting like straight into it. The story was really well told. I don't think it was like, I don't know if it was quite on the same level as maybe Fury Road, and just because Fury Road, I feel like it was simplistic, and it didn't try to like overcomplicate itself. It was get from point A to point B. Oh, that doesn't work. Go back and kill everyone in your way.
I agree. That's kind of what the thing that sucks about prequels is like you set up this character in Fury Road, Furiosa, and it's heavily implied of like the shitty past that she had. And so it makes complete sense why you would want to make a prequel on her. Totally get it. But you're having to tell the story of how how her life first started out with in the Greenland, and then having to work your way all the way up to the point where she became the Furiosa that she was in Fury Road. And that is a tall task to do, and especially in 2.5 hours. So like I commend George Miller for what he had to do, but I will say that there is some spots that I'm just like, I feel that you could have shortened this point down and expanded on scenes that I feel were glanced over. Like it went way too fast to like I had to actually like rewind just to make sure that I comprehended what just happened.
Dude, I hate to say this, the first fight that they experience with her as the second in command to Jack, that went on too long.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with
like
that.
when the little dude freaking died.
Also, how did he die?
He got shot.
Oh, that's what. Okay.
Yeah, it went through the cap and
okay.
got him.
All right, I didn't notice that.
It was super quick because I actually rewound and I was like, "What the hell?" Because he was like standing there with like the thing open and he's like, "Yeah, I get to push." Like he freaking was going to do his one job and then he just like drops down. I'm like, "What the hell?" And then I replayed and it's like, "Oh no, he got shot through the damn lid."
Shit, poor guy.
I know.
That sucks.
Poor dude had one job and he didn't even get to do it.
And he was so excited.
I know. I don't even know why the hell he had to open it. Like, why didn't he just push it from below?
Yeah, that's a good point.
But yeah, it feels like it maybe took a little too long to get to Anya.
I absolutely agree. And so when we get to her, like stuff is sped up so much that like freaking when oh shit, what's like her partner's name? Like when she joins Jack. Okay, when after the scene that you're talking about, and he's just like, oh, if you help me get my team back, I'll do whatever you need to get you on the road to wherever you want. And it felt so fast that like he was like, I'll train you, I'll make sure you're good to go. And like literally it's like the next scene that he's just like,
that she's already the freaking second in command.
Yeah, and he's handing her a gun. He's just like, "You're ready. This will be your last run with us." I'm like, did I just like miss like 10 or 20 minutes of storytelling that should have been in this movie?
Dude, straight up. You cut some of the little kid and give us that montage because that was ridiculous.
Like, don't get me wrong, like the girl that played young Furiosa, she was great, but I feel that we could have done like once her mom is killed, I didn't really need a lot more to showcase how messed up Dementis, right? That's his name.
Yeah.
I didn't need to see a lot more of how effed up Dementis is, why she hated him so much throughout her whole life, and why it was her sole purpose to finally bring him to justice. Like I got it right away.
Yeah.
So
dude, that's where I feel like they could have like freaking skip, like cut her off at that point, do the jump to Anya, and then that would make like once Anya was the freaking and then have like Dementis present like or go to the Citadel with Anya, and then then it wouldn't have felt so creepy that what's his face was just like you're my new, like I want you as a new wife. And then she could have done all that other shit. It wouldn't have felt so icky because Rictus going after young Furiosa was muy gross.
Yeah, very, very much so.
In almost an unnecessary way. But
Yeah,
I don't know, dude. It's like such a fine line because it's like I feel like you skipped over so much of Furiosa.
yeah, and it sucks because Anna Taylor-Joy was a great choice to play a younger Furiosa, and I feel that when it comes to the storytelling, er, just her character, at least what we see her become, wasn't pushed to her full potential. I wanted more of her like the I would say like the middle ground Furiosa, like, you know, beginning her as a child, ending Charlize Theron's Furiosa. I wanted more of the middle Furiosa, and unfortunately I did not get that.
Yeah. We needed a freaking cutout. Like you could have had like where she goes and pretends to be a mute. Like you still could have had all of that shit, and then she gets exposed, or she exposes herself to Jack, and then Jack takes her under his wing and trains her to be the Furiosa that she is in Fury Road. Like, but we needed some montage.
Yeah, most
And
definitely.
yeah, more training, more runs.
Yeah.
And more issues, like show the conflict that she had to put up with, like as like once she was exposed that she was a woman.
Like, it seems that, you know, with Fury Road, that she despises Immortan Joe. And I feel that with this, they didn't like, I get that they were trying to more so focus on her hatred towards Dementis. But if you're also trying to set up how she is, I mean, yeah, this is what you're doing. You're setting up how she is in Fury Road. I think that I would have wanted at least a little more like scenes with them, and like actually like be able to see her like hatred for Immortan Joe, because I feel that she got more scenes with his what's his like right hand man, um I forget his name, the people eater.
Yeah.
Like, she had more scenes with the people eater, who, like, don't get me wrong, like, you know, he does have a good amount of what's the word? Like, I understand like why he has to be there for his presence in Fury Road. But just it felt like when it came to Furiosa's story, Immortan Joe was pushed to the side, and that just felt weird.
It was because
Yeah.
she has such a deep hatred for him too.
Yeah.
Like you just said, like it's they put their focus in the wrong areas.
Yeah.
Is what this came down to. Like you focused on the wrong shit.
Yeah.
We didn't need more reason to hate Dementis. We already hated him.
Yeah. Exactly. From the first scene he's in, love Chris Hemsworth, but yeah, he was a dick. The
Yeah.
character's a dick. And so like you said, we already hated him, but we needed to hate Immortan Joe, or understand why Furiosa hates Immortan Joe so much, and that leads to how she is in Fury Road.
Yeah, it was also like trying to free like what led her to want to free the wives?
Yeah, that
Did she have a connection with them? Because it didn't seem like she did.
no, like
It seems like she
honestly,
was there for like a day and then she freaking bounced.
yeah,
And then like having like the wig prepared was just such a weird thing because it's like I wasn't getting the vibes that Rictus was into her at all, other than like her
I
being
wasn't
small.
either. Yeah, I wasn't either.
Yeah, and so when he like grabbed her, I was like, what's happening? Like I think there were other ways that she could have escaped.
I agree.
I would have almost preferred her just like climb out the window and escape that
Yeah,
way.
same here. Yeah, that would have been a lot better.
Yeah, or just something along those lines. It is weird. This story was really not well put. It was good. It was entertaining.
Yeah.
But then it got slow, and you're just like, all right, freaking pick it up. And then even the action sequences, like I said, like drug.
No, they did. Like freaking like I'm sorry, but comparing the action scenes to Fury Road, which I would think they'd be on the same level considering it's the same director, like they were lacking.
A lot. Dude, there was a lot of scenes like that. Like the one where she's acting as the second in command, that was like the first big one. Then when Jack is getting drug around by Dementis's crew, and he's just like driving in a circle, or with him like being drug on the ground. I'm like, okay, can we move on?
Yeah.
Did you have the subtitles on?
Yeah, I did.
Did you catch the guy that was just like, I'm bored?
I did, yeah.
After freaking Dementis called or told them to stop, he's like, good, I'm bored. I'm like, dude, me too.
You read my mind.
Oh shit. But and then like once that that scene was done, like we got back into some badass shit with Furiosa leaving her arm there. That was hardcore.
Yeah, that was badass.
Yeah, I think they should have made a bigger deal about her losing her star map though.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I think it would have been interesting for Dementis to like find it.
Yeah, that would have been.
And like trying to track the stars and everything. Like that would have been an interesting little twist on why she needed to track him down so quickly. But no, like it was just revenge themed, and it is lazy, I feel.
Yeah, most definitely.
Especially like the ending, like the ambiguous ending freaking pissed me off too. I was just like, can you just like, and especially the way they freaking hyped up that one line of his, the like, do you have it in you to make it epic? I'm like, dude, make it epic. And they didn't. They left us on an ambiguous ending, and none of those endings are ones that I felt like super satisfied by. Like even the one that like ultimately was the truth, because like the first one you get is like, oh, and then he just shot her in the head, or she just shot him in the head. I'm like, okay, lame. Like, what's the other alternative? And he's like, other people believe that she drug him across the desert. Okay, and like, what's the next one? And then he's like, says like, she whispered truth in my ear, and told like, and then planted a tree in the citadel. I'm like, that's dumb. Like, it was kind of cool, but it was also like, not in a satisfying way.
Yeah,
because it's just. Like at some point, do you just like stop eating? Like that was just Dementis not wanting to die.
true.
It's like have the wherewithal to freaking just grab a branch off the tree that's literally growing out of you and just stab yourself.
Or I'm
Like,
pretty
there's
sure
no-
there was a rock in reach. He could have just bashed himself in the head.
Yeah, it's not like he wasn't capable of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had a lot of issues. It was entertaining for sure.
Yeah,
I just
definitely.
just issues. So I'm probably sitting at like a 71. I'm not quite in the 60s with this yet, and I do feel like it had redeeming qualities.
Yeah. I think I'm just going to be I'm going to be 1 point higher than you at a 72.
All right, next up we got writing, and this I feel is somewhere that the movie really excels. I thought the dialogue was off the hook.
100%. Yeah, dude, freaking like, especially I mean, it's a credit to Chris Hemsworth's acting, but we'll get into that with acting. But the writing for Dementis was amazing. It was so freaking good.
Oh man, it was so good. it just like unhinged enough that it was fun to kind of see like, all right, what's this crazy bastard going to do next?
Like freaking when they take those 4 motorcycles and tie each of the guy's limbs to one, and he's just like, lady and gentlemen, start your engines. I'm just like, that is so effed up to say.
Oh my
You're
gosh,
such an ass, but I
dude,
love this.
his like, he had some freaking kick-ass lines in this. Like, my favorite's that one where he's like, do you have it in you to make it epic? And I'm like, I was hyped. I was so hyped.
Yeah, that's a
It
sick
freaking
line.
it freaking sucks that it was such like a letdown. Like, obviously, no, she does not have it in her to make it epic.
Yeah,
She made it slow and
unfortunate.
drawn out, exactly how the rest of this movie was.
Damn. He's not wrong.
Yeah, but I loved the end when she's finally going after Dementis, and all the things people are saying about her, like that's no woman, that is the 5th horseman of the apocalypse. I'm like, freaking A.
Dude, forget, I love so much when she pulls up in that like rusty ass car that one guy made. And she's literally helping them put supplies into the new car, into like the new car, because like the one guy, I forget the one guy, but he's just like, yeah, I want her food supply, I want her water, I want her weapon. And so she's literally just helping the two, I forget their names, I'm sorry, I'm bad with names, but like the two with like the war boys. She's helping the war boys like put all the supplies in the car, and then she just takes it. It's so great.
Oh my
I was
god.
like, yeah, that's a badass move, Furiosa.
Yeah, dude. So I'm looking at some of the dialogue or quotes from the movie. The History Man had some freaking bangers.
Oh, dude, yeah,
Where,
fantastic.
yeah, when Furiosa is like riding off and he says, that is the darkest of angels, the 5th rider of the apocalypse. I'm like,
Yes.
freaking A. And then another one, there will always be war, but to get home, Furiosa fought the world. I'm like, damn, son.
Oh yeah, dude, when he's like giving his speech that leads up to like the what was it, like the 40-day war?
Oh,
dude, I got
so
freaking
good.
goosebumps.
Same, dude.
That's
Same.
so cool.
Yeah, this had like super redeeming qualities, dude. Like, where the story fell short, the writing made up for it tenfold.
100%.
Ooh, so freaking good. Oh man. Let's see if there's any others. Just like, oh, when freaking Dementis is like finally being like finally realizes that it's Furiosa, and he's just like, you fabulous thing. You crawled out of a pitiless grave deeper than hell. I'm like, ah. I geeked out, dude. I was like,
That was so good.
that line hits ridiculously hard.
I love because they say it in Fury Road. I love when the war boys, as they're about to sacrifice themselves, say "Witness me." But I think it's cool. I've always liked that line,
dude. It is so cool. I wish the little kid would have gotten a "Witness me" moment.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Like, I think it would have been cool if he had gotten shot and was dying, but still was able to activate that weapon. And then he, like, you just see, because I mean, he was like, he was spray painting his hand and stuff, and just like looking at the chrome, and then I think that would have been a cool moment. Just like that, I think that would have been a really sweet moment to show that like Furiosa still has some like sympathy. Where if he dies, and then like his final words are "Witness me," and then like he dies before he's able to like spray paint his face, and so she does it for him. Like, that would have been such a sweet
that
moment.
would have been really cool. Oh, I would have loved that.
That would have been cool. But yeah, the dialogue are just awesome. Like, I loved the conversation between Dementis and Furiosa, at the end. Like just
Oh yeah, so good.
oh man, like talking about like the different methods that she could kill him, and just talking like, oh, if you shoot me in the head, it'll turn my brain to pink mist before like I won't even hear the sound of the gun. And
Yeah. Oh, dude, I love when he mentions like what does he say? He's just like it doesn't affect me getting shot, but usually when the shooter um shoots the shootee in the back of the head, it's like a what is it? Like a more
yeah,
sophisticated way or some shit like that.
no,
Like
so it's in like for torture because he's just like I can like if I'm facing you, I can anticipate the shot coming. And it said there's like more anticipation. It's more torturous if I can't see it coming.
yeah, that's what it
And
was.
yeah, and I'm like, ugh. Like because if especially like it's like because he was throwing all this shit right after saying like you and me are the same, and you could tell that freaking rocked her.
Yeah.
Like, dude, the dialogue was off the hook. Like, this is probably the biggest gap between story and writing, like ever, or at least
Yeah.
that I've ever given.
Yeah, I'm curious how high you're going.
I like this dialogue a lot. I'm seriously debating between an 89 and a 90. I'll go 90. I'm feeling nice.
You know what? F it. I'm gonna match you. Because no, you're absolutely right. Because like freaking like also speaking of that scene when she's just like my brain will always remember the pullback, the freaking like the pullback, or no, not the pullback. What's like the term? Or
The
no, kickback.
recoil.
Yeah, thank you. Recoil. After I shoot you, just oh god, yeah. That scene just like you said, the dialogue is just phenomenal.
Yeah, any of the like super intense dialogue is so good. Like it was never the dialogue's fault that I felt like things were dragging. It was just the way that the story was being told.
Yes.
Because I mean, even the stuff I thought was dragging, the dialogue was really good. Like
Yeah.
talking or with when she was one of the war boys, or like pretending to be a mute and everything, and like she's throwing her hands up and doing like the signs, and they're just like, "We need to hear you speak, like speak his name." And you could tell that was just like a defiance deal. Like it was
Yeah.
good, so good. All right, moving on over to acting. Going through this crazy cast list. Oops, wrong one. First up, we got Anya Taylor-Joy, who played Furiosa. We got Chris Hemsworth, who played Dementis. We got Alila Brown, who played young Furiosa. Tom Burke, who played Praetorian Jack. He feels familiar.
I thought the same thing.
What else has he been in? Tom Burke. Where do I know him from? Literally nothing.
How does he have such a recognizable face then?
I don't know. Like maybe I'm just confusing him with someone else. Yeah, I'm looking through his IMDb. I am not seeing a single other thing that I've watched.
Damn.
Huh. All right. Anyway, yeah, I felt like that through all of Furiosa. I'm like, he feels like super familiar. Let's see. Then we got George Shevstov, who played the History Man. Lackey Holm, who played Immortan Joe. Did he originally play Immortan Joe?
No, they went for a younger guy for the prequel.
Probably a good call.
Yeah.
Like I felt like he looked younger.
Yeah, no, yeah, he was.
So I'm glad they went that route. All right, what's your top 3 look like?
So number 1, just because he was so much fun to watch, Chris Hemsworth as Dementis.
Dude, same.
He was fantastic.
Dementis was unhinged in the best possible way.
Yeah, oh my god. Like, if anyone thinks that Chris Hemsworth can't act outside of Thor, this performance just proves you 100% wrong. This man can freaking act.
He is so good at characters.
Yeah.
Like, but people keep putting him in like basic bitch roles.
Yeah, it's BS.
Like, they gave him some personality in Thor, and I loved that for him.
Yeah.
Like, I love that he was able to show off his personality. And then it's always been like soldier, hitman, like, or just other random roles that I'm just like, dude, these are basic bitch roles.
Yeah.
Like, especially when he pulls shit off like freaking Dementis, like, dude, like, you were crazy, and I loved every single second of it.
Like, when it comes to how good of an actor Chris Hemsworth is, I'll always look at Thor, of course. But range-wise, this is what I'll always look at, because wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Straight up, dude. I have the same deal with freaking Ryan Reynolds. Like his baseline, I put him like in Deadpool. Like, that's his baseline level of acting. His like top performance, though, I would say is The Voice, or The Voices.
I've never seen that.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Another unhinged character, but his range is ridiculous.
Okay.
But yeah, Chris Hemsworth dominated this. Like, in every single scene, dude. I was freaking locked on him. He was so good.
Number 2, I would give to Anna Taylor-Joy. I know she didn't talk a lot as Furiosa, which is unfortunate, but I guess the way that they were going for her, it made sense, but her acting was so good with her I guess her mannerisms, like her demeanor, like, while she didn't get to say a lot, she still gave a great performance with her. I don't know how to say this. Like, sorry.
This is where her casting, I feel, is perfect, because I feel like it was the expression in her eyes.
Yes,
she has very like distinct eyes, and she's able to portray so much through them.
Yeah, she's like the Gromit of Mad Max.
What the shit?
What? Like, am I wrong? Like, that's all that Gromit is able to express with is his eyes, his face, and so considering that for most of the movie, that's all that Anna Taylor-Joy did with Furiosa. Like, and this is not me knocking her, because the emotions that they are able to showcase with Gromit in Wallace and Gromit is amazing, and so I feel like I could compare that with her performance here.
Dude, did they color her eyes? Or was that her natural eye color?
I thought it was her natural. That's a good question.
Her eyes are like slightly green, like really dark green.
Yeah.
Or at least in some of these pictures that I'm seeing. They're more like it's like a mixture of green and brown. Then let me see. Yeah, I think they colored her eyes.
Oh, okay.
Or at least it seems like it. They kind of went with like a blue.
Oh, all right.
Maybe I might be reading too much into that.
I dug it.
But yeah, she's my number 2 as well. Freaking fantastic.
Yeah. Number 3, it's like a toss up for me. I think just because like I liked his connection with her, with Anna Taylor-Joy, I'll give it to Tom Burke, who played Praetorian Jack. I definitely did sense a bond between these two, and the acting definitely helped sell that. These two really worked well together, and I was very sad when he died. That was really sad.
I don't think they made a big enough deal about that.
Right? Like, yeah, they kind of just glanced over that.
Yeah, and she kind of bounced super quick. Like, didn't even like. I get it because it's like
Yeah,
you were under risk of death. So
like literally, and I mean, it's the way that the situation played out. I get that she didn't get say her final goodbye, but like her final goodbye is as he's about to be dragged and she's about to be strung up. She's just saying, "Jack, Jack, my Jack," or some shit like that. I'm just thinking, like, is this Titanic? Like,
this is where the freaking montage would have helped so much and establish the freaking love relationship
yeah, I
because it
agree.
felt so forced.
It did 100%.
Yeah. I actually have a different number 3.
Okay.
And even though his role was very small, I'm giving it to the History Man.
Ooh, okay. I like it.
His dialogue hit hard. Like just that one calling her the 5th rider of the apocalypse was chills.
So badass.
So freaking good. Like, and I loved his look and just like how he was just tattooing the history of the world and everything. Like, freaking loved it. And did they say this was set in Australia? I didn't think that they had like. I thought this was just like the world now. Like, I didn't realize that this was set in like.
I think it's still set in the world. It's the Greenland that is Australia.
Oh, okay. Because if there's anywhere that this like setting or this dystopian world makes sense, it's a post-apocalyptic Australia.
I could definitely buy Australia.
Kind of makes me wonder what the rest of the world looks like.
Oh shit!
Like, is Australia the only one that's struggling? It's like freaking Mad Max ends up being like a reality TV show, and no one else know. Like, it's a Truman Show situation. Like, no one knows the. No one knows that they're being filmed.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
That would be hilarious. But yeah, so where are you sitting with your acting score?
Acting, I feel like everyone was solid. I mean, some got like only a couple scenes because they kind of had to be there in order to lead to how their character is in Fury Road. Made complete sense. Shit, who what was her name that played young Furiosa? Thank you. Alila, fantastic. She was wow. Like,
dude, she was hardcore.
Right? Like, goddamn.
Like that. This is where why I thought the movie was going to be like way. It wasn't going to have the issues that it was having, because when you see her for the first time and like the dude's like has his throat cut and he's trying to reveal the location of the green place, and she just goes and like freaking curb stomps his neck. I'm like, damn! Like she was hardcore. And I loved it. I loved how freaking badass she was.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. So I think acting, I think I'll be at an 89.
I'm actually just slightly lower at an 87.
All right.
All right, next up we got character development.
Considering that this is a prequel set around one character, was it titular? That's not the word. Or is it titular?
Yeah.
Okay.
Titular. Titular.
Yeah. So, considering that, we're oh my god, did I say "were" enough? We're making a prequel based off a character that was first introduced in Mad Max Fury Road. A lot of people took a liking to her. They wanted to see where she came from. We get this prequel with how she became the Furiosa, or how she became the not amazing, just Furiosa, whatever. And so I feel when it comes to like these kind of prequels that are set, where we get how they started to how they ended, that leads into the movie that led to their prequel. I feel character development is, of course, one of the biggest things that you need to hit dead on. You need to make sure that this titular character's character development is told in a way that it fills all the boxes for what questions people had about that character in your previous film. And in my opinion, for unfortunately how there are some instances that, especially when it comes to Anna Taylor-Joy's Furiosa, I feel that we could have gotten a little more from her side. Like,
yeah,
it was cool seeing it. Not cool. It was interesting seeing her, how she was brought up in the Greenland, her being taken, what that did to her as a child, seeing her mother freaking killed in front of her eyes, which was really messed up. And her dealing with Dementis, cutting to her time in the Citadel with the Morton Joe, and then her growing up, and then how that leads into her being fully grown for Mad Max Fury Road. I just wish that we could have gotten a little more in that middle chapter with Anna Taylor's version. Jeez.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier, but yeah, they focused on the wrong thing, and it threw off the flow of the movie.
Yeah, like freaking, you don't see Anna Taylor until what, like an hour in?
Yeah, a freaking long ass time.
Like,
dude, I kept questioning. I'm like, dude, when the hell are they going to get to Anya?
Yeah, when are we going to get the Furiosa that I thought was going to be the only Furiosa in this movie? Like, honestly, I had no idea that it was going to tell her story from like the beginning. I had no idea it was going to focus on when she was a child, her run-in with Dementis and everything like that. And so, don't get me wrong, I love that stuff, but I was just shocked for how much time we spent with that age of Furiosa.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it was too long.
Yeah.
And so it ruined where we could have gotten like the real growth. Like I understand like making the leap in time from young Furiosa and where she's just like a basic survivor. Like you can easily make that leap anywhere else. So get us to the point where she's training, where she's doing like the combat, and then you can give us the backstory of losing her arm and all of that other stuff. Like you could work on, like, focus on that stuff. Like the questions that we actually had is like, how did we get from a little kid to badass Furiosa? And you skipped all the parts that like of building up the badass.
Yeah.
And then like and then they try to squeeze in some like romantic connection with some dude that like we had just met. Like we didn't spend any significant time with him.
It kind of seems to me that when it came to Badass Furiosa, that George Miller might have just assumed that we'd kind of fill in the holes for what we saw with her in Mad Max Fury Road. But
nope, you can't do that.
No, you can't. When you are making a prequel focused around a character that you introduced in your last movie that is supposed to tell her complete story, where she got where she came from, why she is the way that she is. No, I don't want to fill in any of the blanks. I want it all laid out for me.
Yeah. Like we got the freaking mindless violence movie already. Now you're basing a movie off of a character, the character development of like from wherever you want to start their story to like getting them to the point before like the movie we know them from, like that should be very character driven, and it doesn't feel like his vision for this movie was.
Yes.
So this is one that's slightly lower. Like this is barely scratching 70, because I mean ultimately we did get to the Furiosa we know,
Yeah.
but actually 70 feels high.
Damn.
I might be at like a 68.
I think I will crack 70 for it, because I mean I know that what like I was okay, you know what, actually 16. I can't do it. 69. I shut myself up.
All right, next up we got effects. Honestly, not as good as Fury Road.
No, and that really sucks.
It does. It was a bit of a letdown.
Like, I'm curious if this had a bigger budget or the same budget. I'm gonna look it up. Let's see, Fury Road. So Fury Road's budget, I hate it when they do this. So Fury Road's budget was between 154 and 185 million, and Furiosa's was 168 million.
I kind of feel like they didn't have too many excuses.
Yeah, I agree.
Where Fury Road went as practical as they could, I think this went less so. And there was times that everything at some point felt fake.
Yeah, and like it kind of, I feel that George Miller kind of shot himself in the foot a little bit, because Mad Max Fury Road works so well with its effects because it's a get from point A to point B kind of storyline. And so you're able to do all of these extravagant set pieces, these badass vehicles, just all this awesome action. Whereas with this being a prequel, you having to bounce around from different times throughout this character's life, you have to sprinkle in some action throughout. Otherwise, it's not going to feel like a Mad Max movie. And just unfortunately, it doesn't always work.
Yeah. They went too heavy on CG, because there was definitely time, especially when the war boys were getting like thrown off of the war rig, like they were like it looked super fake.
Dude, freaking, I don't know, maybe I was just like a little tired, but I had to rewind that because like I didn't even realize that they freaking had gotten blown off of that. I'm just like, wait, where the hell did they go? Like I'm so confused.
Oh man, dude, I also didn't love I love the concept. I didn't necessarily care for the execution of the freaking tractor arms coming off of
Oh
the war
yeah.
rig. They moved too slow for me, and I was just like, dude, like this is lame. And then where it looked like they were like trying to crawl, I'm like, that's not how those work.
I was a little let down also, but I mean, it was a cool as hell thing, but I expected a little bit more from the Bomby Knocker.
Dude, I did too. They freaking hyped that shit up so much, and I'm like,
Yeah.
So it's just a freaking blender?
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah, dude, I was more impressed with the dude flying the freaking Kraken kite.
Oh yeah, dude.
That looks so cool.
Dude, freaking when the two guys when they're one's riding a motorcycle and the other one's like freaking like skiing off the end, and they freaking like jump up in the air and like start shooting that way. That was freaking cool as hell.
Oh yeah, the flight mechanics, like how they pulled that off was so cool.
Yeah, that was badass.
Yeah, dude, the effects were it's an interesting, like, trying to figure this one out, because like there was stuff that was really cool, like the whole, like the flying thing. There was almost too many flying things that were happening. I was just like, oh shit, like you got the flying crew, and then I'm like, okay, cool, and then it's like, boom, now you got one with a glider, and I'm like, okay, cool, and then boom, you got the Kraken. I'm like, god damn it, dude, like how many of these bastards are there?
Freaking, like, consider I watched Fury Road like right before I watched Furiosa. I hate myself for this line popping into my head, but like after like seeing
Do you
so
say
many,
they fly now?
yep, I did. I wanted to tell my brain, shut the hell up. Do not even think about that line right now. That's all I can think of.
Dude, I am in the same boat. I am in the same freaking boat.
Oh shit, that's funny.
Unfortunately, I don't think the effects, like they were borderline, like they got distracting at times.
Yeah.
I'm still pretty high because I do feel like the action sequences, they do have their place. So like the practical combat and everything. It's just when it came to some of the CGI, it got rough. So I think effects, I'm sitting at like a 79. It was slightly above average, but just not quite in the 80s.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I think I will crack 80 just for just some of the scenes that like really stand out for me. I absolutely agree with everything that you say, but there were just a couple of scenes, especially even though we just made that flying joke, that that I feel I can justify cracking 80.
Fair enough. All right, moving on over to music. This was pretty average.
Yeah, I mean,
Like they had a little bit of a score, but
yeah, like I probably would put it on the same level as Fury Road.
where would you put
That
Fury Road then?
um I'm either like a strong 6 or like a soft 7. Probably more so.
Honestly, I was leading on a 5.
I think I'll just be a little higher at a 6.
Yeah, not much to say about music. So moving on
Yeah,
over to costumes, though,
these were fantastic.
these were really freaking good.
Like Anna Taylor-Joy just embodies Furiosa's final look with how comparing, how Charlize Theron looks as her in Fury Road, and then how Anna Taylor-Joy looks as her in Furiosa, like putting those two side by side. Oh my god, so freaking badass.
Oh my gosh, dude, the freaking grease paint like across the face. Didn't super love it on Charlize. Anya pulled it off.
Yeah, oh my, yeah,
She,
so freaking cool.
yeah, and she looks so much cooler than Jack.
Yeah. Uh
Yeah, her look, like when she was finally the Praetorian, I was there for it. I thought she
Same
was
here.
so freaking cool. And then yeah, her final look was badass.
So good. I found it very interesting that they gave Chris Hemsworth a prosthetic nose.
Makes
That
sense.
it definitely made sense for Dementis, and it made him look even cooler. But just I think I saw like an interview of when Chris Hemsworth was approached by George Miller. He's like, yeah, but by the way, you're gonna have to wear a prosthetic nose. And I can't remember if like that was like kind of like a I don't know if I want that, if I want to do this role because of that kind of moment for Chris Hemsworth.
I mean, I can imagine, but here I feel like here's the defense for that. Chris Hemsworth has a very symmetrical pretty boy face.
This is true.
So putting something like that, like a nose that is slightly off-putting, it does like contort his face a little bit, because
Yeah.
a nose is just like as a staple of the face, and so like, yeah, like kind of messing it up a little bit, like, yeah, I kind of like added a little like, huh, that doesn't quite feel like Hemsworth, and
Yeah.
so it kind of made me see the character a bit more.
I feel honestly, if I hadn't have seen, Hemsworth in so many things, known him as Thor since 2011, I feel that he don't get me wrong, he was unrecognizable as Dementis, but for me knowing this actor for over 10 years, I still saw him. But I feel as someone that's like barely seen the guy, you wouldn't have recognized that it was Hemsworth. I feel that
Yeah, if
they
you're
did
not
a
super
decent job
familiar
hiding
with it.
it.
Yeah, and he did such a good job at playing like this unhinged character. You're like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah, like damn, freaking. He wasn't in it a lot, but the design for Immortan Joe, once again, bad ass.
He looks super
So
cool.
freaking cool.
Costume wise, I'm probably sitting at like a 9. I think the only thing it's
Can definitely
missing
match it.
is like solid silhouette,
I can agree with that.
but yeah, I think dude, my favorite look for Hemsworth is when he got the freaking the blood powder like all over his face. Like,
Oh, dude, that was so sick.
he looked so cool, and I love how he became bloody Dementis after that. Like, I'm like, freaking A, dude. Yeah. All right, last up, we got our own personal scores. You want to take this one first?
Sure. So I feel that it's very hard to do a prequel to a very like out there kind of movie that Mad Max Fury Road is. I mean, all the Mad Max movies are. But I feel that George Miller had a very tall task making a prequel to a character that we loved in Fury Road and wanted to know more about her past. And I feel for the most part he did pull it off. There is some unfortunate drags when it comes to the storytelling, parts that should have been focused more on Anna's I guess, yeah, Anna's take on Furiosa instead of young, like the super young Furiosa.
Hold on, are you saying Anna?
Is it Anna or Anya?
Anya.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Like, yeah. Like, I kept hearing you say it, and I was wanting to say something, but I'm just like, no, like, because I thought you kept saying like the yeah, but it was never mind.
My bad. Okay, so Anya. Sorry. So I think that they should have, while it makes complete sense for how he sets up this prequel, that we spent a lot of time with young Furiosa, we should have still spent a little more time with Anya's version of the character, because you jump a lot when it comes to her, and it is unfortunate because she was the perfect casting for a young Furiosa. But just I think that focus should have been put in different spots. But the rest of the cast is solid. The other lead-ins that we have to Fury Road are great. And just overall, it is a decent prequel. Like I said, it unfortunately misses in some spots, but when it hits, it does hit. George Miller is still at his craft, at his best in the Mad Max world. It's honestly really cool seeing what he can do with this universe. And it is unfortunate that this was such a box office bomb that we will not. I will be super, super shocked if they actually greenlight his next prequel that he had in mind, which was going to be a prequel on Max.
Damn, dude,
on
because
Mad Max.
He's one that I would have loved to see a backstory on.
Same here. I would have absolutely loved that.
So who did he have planned for the prequels?
Just Furiosa and Mad Max.
Damn. I would have liked one for Immortan Joe, if I'm being 100% honest.
That would have been freaking awesome.
I want to know what's up with his whole suit.
Yeah, I agree.
Like it feels so odd.
It does. Yeah. No, I agree. But yeah, so overall personal score for me, I think I'm gonna go an 84.
Okay. That's a little bit higher than where I was sitting. I enjoyed this. It's not one that I ever feel like I would need to like go back and rewatch. But like I said, I enjoyed it. It's just it needed work. It needed a little bit of like just ironing out some of the fluff. And like once you got that out, like you have a super solid movie.
Yeah.
It's just like you stated, we needed more Anya because that's the Furiosa we thought we were going to get. And it's just cutting out some of the kid. Like it's not much. Like you just cut out a little bit, replace it with some montage and like showing Furiosa like training and shit, and like you're rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
It's just you just needed something to iron out the kinks.
Yes.
So I am personally sitting at a 79.
Okay.
All right, going through these categories real quick, starting off with story. We are sitting at a 71.5. Writing is one of our highest categories, sitting at a 90. Acting is sitting at an 88. Character development is one of the lowest categories, sitting at a 69.
Right.
The effects jumped up a little bit, sitting at a 79.5. The music is sitting at a 5 out of 10. The costumes are sitting at a 9 out of 10. And then our personal score ended up averaging out to an 81.5. Dude, this is like the biggest like back and forth I feel like we've had.
I agree.
Like I mean, we have a freaking 69, a 5 out of 10, and then a 90 in the same freaking movie. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, that's unheard of.
Yeah. So anyway, the final All Bros letter grade for Furiosa has come out to a C+.
Oh damn, I thought I was gonna get in the B's.
I did too, but I think character development killed it just enough. It was the character development and music that I feel killed it.
I look forward to, I don't know if people are going to, but I look forward to getting not harassed, but probably pointed out by some very diehard Furiosa fans. Because you know what, I understand, why people love this movie, so they love this prequel so much. I get it. I have problems, but I still enjoyed it very much so. But y'all can just calm down.
Bro, 0.07% away from being a B-.
Son of a bitch.
It is so ridiculously close.
Son of a bitch.
All right, so do you want to hear what it's above or what it's below first?
Let's go above.
Okay. So this is sitting at a 79.93%. The cutoff for a B- is 80%.
Okay.
So that puts it above The Croods, A New Age.
Yeah, definitely agree with that.
It is above Aladdin.
Yeah.
It is above Mortal Kombat 2021.
Definitely agree with that.
It is above Hocus Pocus 2.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And it is above Uncharted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So going the opposite direction, it is below Dear Evan Hansen.
What the hell is wrong with us?
What do you mean? What's wrong with us?
Like, isn't Furiosa better than Dear Evan Hansen?
This is one where, like, it's going to be tough to argue. It's going to be really tough to argue because I feel like the scores are just so vastly different.
Fair.
Like in between, like, the categories.
Yeah.
Like, this is one where, like, the story sucked, but the writing was amazing, and the acting was great, but the character development was trash. The effects were average. The music was completely mid-range,
Yeah.
and then the costumes were pretty good. And then our personal score ended up being, like, slightly above average. So it's just there was enough bringing it down to freaking hit it like this.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's below Dear Evan Hansen. It is below the Super Mario Bros. 1993.
What?
I would honestly agree with that.
I cannot agree with that. Dude, we're gonna freaking get some hate mail for that shit.
Well, dude, like, if you think about it, though, you gave it an 84. I gave it a 79. So saying that it's below Super Mario Bros., where Super Mario Bros. Is at an 80, I'm like, yeah, I feel like it's below because...
Yeah, sorry, man. I can't agree.
Yeah.
I freaking hate that movie.
I like that one.
All right, okay, I don't
Let's
hate
see.
it.
It is below Good Boys.
Okay, yeah, I can agree with that.
It is below Top Gun.
Okay. Yeah.
And it is below Dune. That's one I hard disagree with. But the effects freaking blow Furiosa out of the water.
That makes it, dude. The only one I disagree with is Super Mario Bros. I don't hate Super Mario Bros. As much as everybody does. Like, it's not the biggest piece of dog shit that has ever been made, but I'm sorry, compared to Furiosa, wow. Like, Furiosa has its problems, but overall, it's a solid, good prequel.
Super Mario Bros. Was freaking destroyed because of the effects.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. Everything else was freaking...
But just, I can't justify that an adaptation of the most popular video game character in the world, like I said, that was just a horrible representation of him and that world, scored higher than Furiosa, a prequel made by the same director that did the previous movie, that you could tell that he put love and care and effort, even though, like, not everything worked. You could tell that he definitely tried to make the prequel that not only he wanted but fans wanted. So
unfortunately, that's not the case, though. If that was the case and that was something that fans truly wanted, or if it was what fans truly wanted, I feel like it would have done better. It would have performed a lot better if that's what fans were truly wanting.
Fair enough. I can't justify that. I know we can't change anything, of course not. But this is like one of the few ratings that just I can't justify the Super Mario Bros. Rating coming in above Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. Wow.
Freaking crazy, right?
I'm gonna be sleeping on that for days. I just want you to know that.
All right, well, that's where it is, where it's currently sitting, and that is where it will stay
for now.
For now.
Just kidding.
All right. Well, I believe that wraps up this week's breakdown. If you enjoyed this episode, want to check out more of our stuff, be sure to follow and subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts. We are basically everywhere. Yeah, it's easier to find places that we're not. Then let's see. Yeah, we're on all social media as well. Facebook, Twitter or X, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, all at the All Bros. Same with YouTube. You have to search at the All Bros to find our stuff for some reason. Because there's another channel that's just called All Bros that gets like the searches.
That's dumb.
Yeah, so freaking dumb. But yeah,
what is even their channel about? Have you checked
dude,
it out?
I don't even know. Look, here, just for shits and giggles.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm
find
curious
out.
now. Who is our rival? I swear, if it's a movie reviewing channel, I'm gonna lose my shit.
That I know is not the case.
Okay.
Oh shit, they are a podcast though.
Son of a bitch.
Celebrity interviews.
What?
It's like it looks like Indian.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm curious how they got the name the All Bros. Or just All Bros.
Yeah. Here, let's see if I can translate.
Because for those of you that do not know, the All Bros name originated from me and Caleb just combining our last names. That's how we got the All Bros.
Yeah, that's like our couple's name. Dude,
we just added an extra L.
Yeah, fun trivia for you too. We had 2 different spellings for it. Like we were thinking of doing ALBROSE, and then we realized that looked stupid as shit. And then I was like, what if we just split it up and just the All Bros? Yeah, it's like a freaking podcast. They do like celebrity interviews.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't really look like they have like a super strict format.
Interesting.
Yeah, their newest video is 6 months old.
Oh, damn.
And then yeah, so they haven't posted for quite a while.
All right.
So maybe that's our goal. We need to surpass them. Like we need it when you search All Bros, you need to find our shit first. So help us get to that point.
Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, you can find that at YouTube. Remember, you gotta search at the All Bros. And yeah. So with that, next week you guys can look forward to us breaking down the latest Transformers film, Transformers 1, which from what I'm hearing right now is one that you have to see on the big screen.
I've heard that too, and I've heard some people compare it to Spider-Verse levels.
Dude.
So we'll see if that's true. I'm very intrigued by that claim.
Yeah, that is a bold claim.
Yeah, very much so.
It better be worth it. I'm gonna try going after work on Saturday.
Hell yeah.
Because I got the house to myself. I don't have to worry about anyone. But yeah, I mean, I hope it's good. I hope it's good, and I hope it freaking blows me away.
Yeah.
But you guys can find out what we thought about that movie next week. But until then, this has been the All Bros Podcast. I'm Caleb.
And I'm Jonathan.
And we will catch you guys next week. Deuces.
See ya.
Not gonna do Herbert this week?
No, I don't know. You know what? I think I might just retire Herbert. Like
what?
I don't know. I think either I'm just gonna stick with the see ya or do a different voice. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Okay.